Hello and welcome to the show. This week's FailRace episode, we start with Gears 571 on GTA 5 with a rather unhealthy looking Oracle. Never fear though that FailRace Police Department are always nearby. The relatively smallest of nudges amazingly the police car doesn't give a crap either about being turned over. The guys get out there fine in there and then we get murdered by a truck. Yeah, apparently police cars easy to roll over. Boss of the Boss 19 on Forza Horizon 3, minding his own business, driving through the streets, racing through the streets really, of Surface Paradise when two drivatars have a synchronized crash, a synchronized reverse, and synchronized set off and try and blend into traffic and pretend you didn't just splatter into a concrete wall at a good couple of 100 kilometers an hour. Yeah, good old drivatars. Zeno Axis on Forza Horizon 3 is doing a team race when his opponents take that meaning a little too literally, as the Lamborghini catches a ride on top of the GTR and continues to catch a ride for quite some time, even surviving a jump on the roof of the GTR. That's quite impressive, actually. To have carried a car that far is some really rather good teamwork. AKM on Forza Horizon 3 has already had some bizarreness going on in the loading screens. However, the time of day cannot decide what on earth it is doing. It's sort of gone from hell setting, now it's just going back to midnight. Now we're really going through the strobe lights here. Someone's messing about with the settings of the sun. I think that's what it is going on there. Someone has found a switch to play around with the settings, and now we're back to daylight. Although he wasn't the only one having issues. MD Gamer 2000, also doing one of the team races, would find that the sunlight can change quite a lot as we then quickly go through hell setting, and then we're nighttime. Yeah, apparently, I can understand sometimes, loading into multiplayer races, then we go back through hell again to come into daylight. Loading into a multiplayer lobby, it might kind of screw up a little bit with time of day, but during the races, I don't know, nothing I've ever seen happen to me personally, but there we go. Tom the Turtle 180 on Forza Horizon 3 is admiring the scenery when the drivatars try to show off with a Corvette, and then end up going swimming. Yeah, not a good place. I mean, I've seen drivatars bump into stuff and fall off things and crash into walls. Normally, they don't do it with such vigour. Normally, they don't have massive oversteer moment around a corner and then fall off a bridge and then get stuck under the bridge as he went to go find it with the camera mode. Yeah, that's a little bit too much speed. SidMail21 is doing... I love this race around the lumberyard. However, as he gets a little bit too much airtime, attacks a Lamborghini, the drivatars then proceed to push his car down into the tunnels and then turn it around, and now we're going to climb over or sort of sit on top of a Land Rover and be deposited down to the back of the field. That is certainly one way to make your way down the order very, very quickly. Some off-roading goes a little bit wrong for this Toyota, managing to find the quicksand. I've seen this happen once in Horizon 2. Again, not to me, but yeah, apparently if you hit the ground hard enough, you can sink through it. Harry is doing some high-speed off-roading with an aerial nomad when things go spectacularly wrong as we tumble, and then we're going to ride it out with some more wheelie donuts. We saw the Manx beach buggy doing some wheelie donuts. The aerial nomad, keen to not be left out, is going to do them as well. A little bit glitchy, and it does eventually end up going back down. Yeah, some impressive stunts going on. GTG Ultratech is a little bit of an unfair matchup here against a drivatar, so the game punishes him with a big old backflip for the Lotus. Amazingly, comes back down, pointing in pretty much a perfectly straight direction, which is, yeah, not bad. We saw a Lamborghini do that last week. Yeah, apparently backflips are a thing. Texts on Dirt Rally, though, not to be outdone with the spectacular flips. Runs a smidge wide, clips a ditch, goes for an absolutely perfect backflip. And that is the neatest I've ever seen. There was no huge crash from the car. It just came back down, pointing exactly in the right direction. Very, very impressive and very lucky. That lucky person on F1 2016 is racing through the streets of Baku with a rather fast Mercedes behind him. Not much you can do to defend against Mercedes power down this main straight. He wants to try and get back into slipstream as quick as possible, mistimes it, bounces off Rosberg's wheel, and that's a dead Toro Rosso, that one, as it's kind of climbs its way across his own wheels into the pit lane. HG Central on Gran Turismo just got past an Impreza. The Subaru, keen to not be outdone, goes up the inside, launches the car through the air, doesn't quite get the pass done. However, Xerxix on Need for Speed Underground 2 has got the aerial overtake technique down. The Nissan up ahead are quite slow through the corner. The Evo splats into the back. We go for a roll, first of all. Always good. Then we go for a twist. Then we kind of sit on top of the Nissan. We go for a spin. And that is perfectly pointing in the direction you want it to be going. That's a hell of a lucky overtake to do. However, it did get the car past. However, that is going to be it for this video. If you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, then you can via our forums. There will be a link in the description, at the very top of the forums. There is the FailRace clip submission section, and you can find all of the rules and how to submit them in there. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.